1994, the world is controlled by one power.
It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're wrapping up February 1999 by looking at February 26th with 4 movies. I know there's more movies on here, but I wanted to pick 4 specific ones that were mainly the most notable new releases of the weekend. And we'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Joel Schumacher's 8mm, starring Nicolas Cage.
Cindy's college money. If I do right by Mrs. Christian, the circle she runs in, this could be the break we've been waiting for. It'll take longer than a couple of weeks. That's all I can tell you, honey. Sometimes you can't know what I'm doing. It's better that way.
It's always that way. You can highly recommend Mr. Wells. We're pleased for your disclosure.
Thank you.
As you know, my husband passed away recently.
Yes.
My husband was the only one with the culmination to this. These were my husband's private things. I didn't realize.
Do you want to tell me what you found, Mrs. Christian?
Private Detective Tom Wells is one of the only people who has seen it. It is 8mm wide. It runs at 16 frames per second. And he has been hired to discover.
All I want is to know this atrocity is false. I want the proof of it.
If what's on it is real.
Finding the guys who made this film is going to be very difficult. I need information. I thought you might be able to help.
You name the price, I'll name the price. I'm gonna tell you, there's things that you're gonna see that you can't unsee. They get in your head and they stay there.
Some doors should never be opened.
Tom, where are you?
You dance with the devil. The devil don't change. The devil changes you.
Because once you go through,
It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
there is no going back. Nicolas Cage.
I'm trying to understand!
Wherever you were, just forget about it.
Can't.
There's no one left to finish this with me.
8mm. A film by Joel Schumacher.
So Nicolas Cage plays a private investigator who ends up dealing into the world of snuff films. And you can tell from this movie there's 2 notable inspirations that the writer Andrew Kevin Walker probably took from this. One is his own 7, and 2 is the movie Hardcore, which is most notably known as the movie where George C. Scott finds out that his daughter has been starring in porn films, and when he goes to see a movie that's starring his daughter, he's infamously is shaking his head and looking down at the physique going, turn it off, for God's sakes, turn it off. Like, something that The Simpsons would eventually parody later on down the road, but that was kind of my thinking when I saw what the script was kind of like for this, kind of like a modern-day version of the movie Hardcore. For Joel Schumacher, this is coming off of his infamous Batman and Robin, and most people forget that Joel Schumacher was a legitimately good director before Batman and Robin, making fun stuff like The Lost Boys, Falling Down, A Time to Kill, The Client. I mean, he made good movies as a director. But Batman and Robin and Batman Forever was kind of like his falling off point with a lot of people. So this was his first film trying to recapture some of that success. And, not so much. I mean, I get what the movie's trying to do. I think it is trying its best to try to do something a little bit unique and different, but it's not quite there. It's kind of like an early mix of something like it's like I said, it's trying a little too hard to be kind of like the modern day version of Hardcore with a little bit of a edge of 7. But Nicolas Cage himself is trying his best in here. The cast overall is trying their best in here. I mean, you've got Joaquin Phoenix, James Gandolfini, Peter Stormare, Anthony Held, Catherine Keener, Norman Reedus. A notable cast in here overall, and they're doing the best they can with the material here. It kind of falls into a little bit more of an exploitation, more than I think they're trying to make it out to be. I get what they were trying to do here, but I think they went a little bit too far to make it anything more that seems more like an exploitation film rather than a thought-provoking piece of entertainment, and I just don't really see I just don't. I sadly don't see where the thin line was, where they wanted to go with it, and I felt the movie kind of stumbled because of that. It's not a bad film per se, but it's just a film that it's almost like they're almost there trying to figure out what they want to tell, but they just don't have the right story there to do it. I think another rewrite of this probably would have helped us out a lot, but not a bad movie, but still, certainly a forgettable one to say the least. So that's 8mm. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is Juliette Lewis and Gary Marshall's The Other Sister.
Carla Tate has a handicap to overcome.
Oh, no! Carla, get away from the water!
Her mother.
I give her love, I protect her, and suddenly that's smothering. Carla!
I need to be responsible so that my parents get off my back.
But now she's finally met someone who understands.
I want you to meet Daniel.
Don't worry, because I've been house trained.
Are you concerned?
It's just a harmless crush. It's all it is.
Page 84 is okay.
Page 146. Looks pretty good.
Hunt you away.
I thought our worst problem was going to be parking.
The Other Sister.
I wonder who thought up sex in the first place.
I think it was Madonna.
Rated PG-13. Sneak preview this Saturday.
Yeah, I should also tell you that February is also kind of a dumping ground for movies like this, and oh boy, that's pretty bad. So, basically the story, if you can't figure it out from that, is that you have Juliette Lewis playing a mentally challenged young woman who seeks independence by obtaining her own apartment and attending college while her family plans her sister's wedding, while at the same time she also falls in love with another mentally challenged person played by Giovanni Ribisi. One problem, though, if you've seen these actors before, you know that Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi are not mentally challenged. And the way they play it in this movie, oh dear God almighty, this would not fly today by any means necessary. In fact, I don't even know if it would have even flown back then in 1999. In fact, I could see right here from the reviews for this wouldn't have flown back there. The consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, pretty much sums this movie up. Made-for-TV dramas evoke anything but real emotion. And Roger Ebert, I think, says it best, too. Shameless in its use of mental retardation as a gimmick, a prop, and a plot device. I don't think I need to say any more. That's pretty much exactly what this is. I mean, we've seen Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi be in movies and actually play roles very well. They're great actors. Diane Keaton is a great actress. Tom Skerritt is a great actor. Poppy Montgomery, Sarah Paulson, they're great actors too. But, man, talk about a major, major misstep on this one here. Like, it felt like they were trying to do kind of the mental retardation equivalent to Terms of Endearment kind of at times. And it's funny because Juliette Lewis was in the sequel to Terms of Endearment, The Evening Star, one of the most pointless sequels of all time. And sure enough, here's another movie where they're trying to capture that same spirit, and it just doesn't work. Does not work at all. I really honestly don't need to say any more about this one. You could pretty much tell how bad of a movie is right from the get-go, and really, what more do I even need to say? The Other Sister, just a terrible, terrible movie. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie. Let's try to get back on a more positive note here. Here's 200 cigarettes for you.
I love the East Village. It is so cool. My character wants to lose her virginity, so she's like on a mission to get laid.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll meet somebody.
I'm smitten with Christina Ricci. This is the one. This is the one.
I can't believe you let him French you. Will you grow up already?
This is sort of like a whole big funny kind of night.
Woo! They're definitely following us. Are they cute?
Yeah, that wasn't a good commercial that I found for that. That was the first one I actually found, but you basically have an ensemble film, a comedy where it takes place in New York City on New Year's Eve, 1981. It follows several different people, including brothers Ben and Casey Affleck, Dave Chappelle, Guillermo Diaz, Angela Featherstone, Janine Garofalo, Gabby Hoffman, Kate Hudson, Courtney Love, Jay Moore, Nicole Ari Parker, Martha Plimpton, Christina Ricci, Paul Rudd. You have a cameo by Elvis Costello, as well as paintings by Sally Davies. kind of a precursor to what something like the Gary Marshall ensemble comedies would be later on down the road, like Valentine's Day, New Year's Day, except this one is better, but not by that much. The acting overall is okay. I think there are some funny moments here and there, but they're very few and far between. You get too many characters that you have to really pay attention to really appreciate what everyone's going through here, and it's not a bad movie per se. It's just a film that kind of like with the first movie we looked at, 8mm. It has probably more higher ambitions than the film actually ends up giving them. I think another rewrite of this probably would have helped this film a lot more, and maybe some better comedy overall. But I will say it's not a bad movie. There are elements where they are definitely trying to do something funny and do something creative with these people. I mean, everybody here is giving it their all. I mean, it's not a bad, like I said, not a bad film, but definitely a film that needed another rewrite to really make it a film that definitely deserved to be made. But other than that, though, it's just okay for what it is. It's for a one-time watch. I wouldn't say for a one-time watch, it's not bad. After that, I probably wouldn't watch it again, quite honestly. But that's just me. So that's 200 Cigarettes. On to the last movie we have here, and that is Kerry Russell in 8 Days a Week.
I'm gonna stand under your window until you fall in love with me.
But Peter, we're just friends.
Every guy has his dream girl, and for Peter, that girl is Erica.
It sounds so much like erotica.
Felicity's Kerry Russell is Erica.
I've been in love with Erica since we were kids.
She's sexy. She's irresistible. She will fall for you. And Peter will do whatever it takes to win her.
You are acting like a fool.
8 days a week. Kerry Russell, the Golden Globe winning star of TV's Felicity, is luminous, adorable, and angelic.
What the hell are you doing? I wanted to make sure I was in shape.
8 days a week. Sometimes good things come to those who wait.
Sorry about the quality there. That's actually the only trailer I could find online for that movie. It was from the demo video for this film, which is really weird because I saw this movie back in the day, and it's hard to find any trailers for this movie on there, so they must have really thought this movie was not going to play well. And you basically have a story about this guy who's infatuated with his childhood friend and next-door neighbor, played by Kerry Russell, who was then coming off of the success of Felicity, and based on his advice of his grandfather, he decides to camp on Erica's lawn until she realizes that she loves him, and during his summer-long wait, he frequently comments on their neighborhood, and you get to see Kerry Russell in satin lingerie, so I guess that's a little bit something there for you if you really want to get invested into this. But it's a fine movie. Not good, not bad, just fine. I mean, it has moments of little bits of little charm there. I like Kerry Russell in here. I think she does play this role very well. She is good in the movie, playing against this character, Joshua Schaefer, who does a pretty good job in the role here. Catherine Hicks is also in here from Child's Play. Not a bad movie per se. I found this hard to believe, but this is the same director that 8 years later would later direct Shoot 'Em Up, which is a fun, silly, over-the-top, in-your-face action comedy, which is almost kind of like a live-action Looney Tune. So how the hell did this guy go from this to that movie? If you know what movie I'm talking about, the one with Clive Owen and Paul Giamatti and Monica Bellucci, you know how crazy that movie gets. It's a crazy fun movie, but this one, it's not, like I said, it's fine. It's nothing that's going to make you really hate it or really like it. It's just a fun little movie. It's a fun film that tries its best. It probably plays it a little bit too safe for its own good, but I didn't hate it coming out of it. I mean, I really didn't mind the film all that much. I haven't seen it since then. It's been a long time since I've actually seen it, actually, so who knows? Maybe my thoughts on it will change completely, but from what I remember from it, I don't remember it being a terrible movie per se. I thought it was just a decent film, nothing too crazy, nothing too bad, just kind of in the middle. Fine for what it is. If you want to see Kerry Russell in one of her first major film roles after starring in Felicity, this will do well for you. You'll like her in it the most probably, but other than that though, it's fine for what it is, honestly. That's 8 days a week. So with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and we'll jump into March on the next episode with Robert De Niro and Billy Crystal and Harold Ramis' Analyze This, Ryan Felipe, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Reese Witherspoon in Cruel Intentions, and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. So 3 films we'll look at next time. We'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thanks for watching, I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.